Gracie. It's so
Hi.
good to see you again.
Good to
Please
see
take
you
a seat.
too. All right, thank you.
How have you been?
I've been good. This is the form
Oh, yes, perfect.
that I brought back.
Thank
yes.
you. Yes, we'll
just
talk over this a little later. But yeah, how was your weekend?
It was really good. I went to the Mizzou game, like for the homecoming, took my daughter, so she had a great time. And yeah, the weather was kind of chilly, but it was good.
Yeah, so I just wanted to today we were just gonna kind of go over more what a little bit what we talked about last time. So thank you so much for bringing this form back.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I don't know if you remember some of what we talked about, but with informed consent, I just want to reiterate that nothing in this room can be told to anyone else. I cannot tell them what we talked about unless that it can harm someone else. So I am a mandated reporter, so I have the duty to report child abuse or elder abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So that just means if I suspect it, I do have to tell somebody.
Okay.
And also I have the duty to warn and protect, which just means if you were to harm yourself or someone else, I do have to inform authorities of that, just so no one gets hurt.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Perfect. So yes, I'll just file this away in your report.
Okay.
I really appreciate that. So if you could just, I know last time we talked about how you're having financial problems, a few relationship problems, and you're just dealing with all the stress.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me more maybe about your family life, just a little bit of history before we go into all the details?
Yeah, sure. So, family-wise, I have mom and dad. They're super awesome. My dad's relationship and I is kind of off just because he was cheated on my mom in high school, which kind of stuck because it was with a close family friend. But then both sets of grandparents are awesome, and I have uncles and aunts that are really awesome and supportive. And I actually have 2 younger sisters who love to come see Ava, my daughter, and so that's really nice. But it does get a little hard since none of them live here. But yeah, no, it's super great.
Well, it's awesome that you have such a good support system, even though they're not so close in location, but that you can call them anytime.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Do they help out with Ava at all?
Yes, whenever they come into town. So this weekend when my parents came in for the game, they kind of helped out, just wanting to watch her and then trying to get me out the door to go hang out with friends to give me a night off, not a night off, but just to have me go be social. But yeah, no, they help out as much as they can. It's just the financial thing that I came in for. I don't want to ask my parents for money just because they paid for my whole entire college degree and private school, and so it's they've done enough for me. And so I'm just trying to really find resources so I don't have to go ask them,
Yeah, that makes total sense that you just don't want to have to rely or ask your parents for something. They've already given you so much, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that makes complete sense. So I'm really glad you could be here and use our resources. And before I tell you more about our resources, I just wanted to ask you a few more questions. So I know you talked about your boyfriend earlier. So how has that impacted you in your life and all your problems that you've been going through?
I think it's definitely been difficult just because since he was incarcerated, that's when the financial issues begun, just because he was primarily responsible for giving the money for Ava's daycare each week, and that's what he offered. And so then now I'm having to go into my savings to try to scrape that up, and so I'm just worried about when my savings run out, what am I going to do kind of thing. But we haven't had any contact since he was incarcerated, and definitely a strain because Ava's kind of old enough now where she asks where he is, and that can, so it's just uncomfortable, I think, for me, and I don't know what to say.
Okay, so you're feeling really uncomfortable and stressed about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that makes complete sense too. You're just going through a lot of hard emotional things. So I want to ask, how often would you say that you are financially unable to pay for basic necessities or your bills or something like that?
I think taking in a week, I can in a month, the first and second week, fine, doing okay, everything's going great. And then it's kind of the last couple weeks when I have to keep going, for daycare I pay each week. And so then the last 2 weeks for daycare, I'm always like kind of like scraping, and then usually the last like week of the month before I get paid, I will have to go in my savings to pay our daycare lady. And so, I mean, I'm still able, and I'm to like feed her and like make sure our electricity and like house payment, but it's just like the end of the month is kind of when it's like stretched.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So, like by the end of, let's say, a normal week, like after you get paid, how much money would you say you had like left over if there's any stretch room at all?
I think so. Sorry, I'm like really trying to think about like how much I get paid and then each week's split up. But I don't know. I think I would say like by the middle of the month is when I'm like, oh my gosh, like I still need to have like $600 for childcare for the next 2 weeks. And so I really don't want to move her just because it's an amazing daycare and she's, grown up doing that and like grown up in their daycare. And so I'm kind of digging into like, well, if I move her, it'll be cheaper, but then I don't know, like I'm just worried about that situation. So I would say like by the end of the month, like the last 2 weeks for childcare, it can be like from $600 I'm having to scrape into my savings or like $300.
Okay. So it seems to me that you're really struggling paying for mainly childcare. That's really dipping into all your savings. And
Yes.
You're just worried that you won't have enough for other expenses.
Yeah, and kind of like if she gets sick, like because it's getting winter now, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I have to take her to the doctor, like how much is that gonna cost? Like trying to make sure I'm giving her like, all the healthy, great food for her body, which is kind of more expensive too, but I'm like, hopefully this will pay off so we don't have to go make a doctor visit or that kind of thing and just feeling scared and I have a lot of anxiety for that right now.
Okay, I totally understand that. Yeah, many of my clients do face the same problems just with the scheduled doctor bills, just not being able to pay them. So you're not alone in that. Would you say that maybe if you had more resources to childcare, that maybe you would have less stress on your plate?
Yeah, I think definitely like the childcare aspect is what I am just kind of like freaking out about because it's so great and then she loves it, loves the ladies, and she'll still be there for a couple more years until she goes into kindergarten. But I'm like, this internal struggle of like, do I go look for other places? Like what, and just like the what ifs just because she's so comfortable and like not knowing the other resources maybe that are available to me like for childcare and that kind of thing, I think.
Okay, so that, yes, that makes complete sense. So just with dealing all of, with your stress and stuff, would you say you have any like other support systems besides family that are closer who could potentially offer more support to you?
I know like I have some really close like great friends. One of my little sisters is actually going to school at Mizzou here, and so that's great to have her around. But then everyone's like working and has jobs during the day, and I mean my little sister will pick up Ava from daycare sometimes if like I'm running late for like parent teacher conferences or like after group like tutoring. But definitely there's great resources, but I don't have like my grandma, like she's not here to be able to watch Ava, or like my mom who's like retired, like she's not here to, so it's like I don't really have that. And my ex-boyfriend, his family like does live here, and I know that his grandma would be available and she would be amazing too, but then it's like it's awkward. Like I don't want to reach out to her because like we haven't really talked. Like Ava still gets to see that side of the family all the time, but I just feel out of place having to ask that of them just because it's like definitely uncomfortable.
Okay, I understand. So more talking about your boyfriend's family side, would you say that maybe that because you don't have a strong relationship with your boyfriend, that it's putting a strain on the relationship between Ava and his family too?
Yeah, I would say that just because I don't know, like it's uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable because she'll be like, "Where is he?" And they're like, look at me acting like I've told her all these horrible things about him when it's like that's not necessarily true. He did what he did and was incarcerated now. So yeah, there's definitely a strain on their relationship, I think, or maybe their relationship with me that goes impacted to her.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, we do offer actually a class for that, just like talking to your child about important issues that they may not understand. I think that could be really beneficial.
Yeah, no, that would be beneficial. Just because she's so young too, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't teach kids that are her age. I teach kids that are, older. And so it's kind of like the discrepancy that I have. So that would be amazing.
Awesome. And we also do offer like relationship counseling. So if you ever want to, I know that he was recently incarcerated, but we can always have a social worker with you there to help you guys communicate.
Oh, yeah.
So we are able to travel with you. Just if you need that support there.
No, good to know. Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome. So today we are not going to go over our goals yet, but I think we have a really good, strong basis for what you want to focus on, and how I can help you and all that. I think we are done for today. We have about 5 minutes left, and next meeting, if you would like to set it up on whenever you're available, that would be great. So I can get you in. Can I walk you out?
Yeah, of course. Thank you.